Hey there, Antioch, US team and staffers. This is Kendall Laughlin. I am filming this in San Diego, California, this December 2015. I'm our executive pastor here at All People's Church. Uh, First of all, just praying for all of us this holiday season. This is just such a time of year where people are coming back to church. You know, at our Christmas event we had yesterday, we had many people come to Christ. It was so encouraging, and I pray for your churches that you are experiencing that this time of year as well, as people are coming back into church family, and hopefully coming into the kingdom. So we pray for that for all of our churches. This is a little video teaching on what you can do to prepare your staff for the end of the year, and also be preparing for next year as a church staff and church family. So you can see right behind me, I wrote my main points on my not whiteboard, my blackboard, so you can see that there. So I'm just going to go through these real quick so you can be prepared with your staff and team for the end of the year and the beginning of next year. So the first point is celebrate. Man, the kingdom is a kingdom of celebration. You know, Luke 15, our pastor Robert Herber has taught us to say, it says in Luke 15, we had to stop and celebrate. And I know as an apostolic people, we are oftentimes looking at the next hill, the next thing, but it's important for your team to stop and celebrate. So here's a few things you can do for your team as we get towards the end of the year. First of all, have a team party. Whether it's a staff or a ministry team that you lead, we have parties in each area of our church at the end of the year. These don't have to be expensive. They can be low budget. This year we had a less kind of budgeted staff party, so all of our staff brought appetizers or desserts, and then we catered the main meal. That was a less expensive way that we did it this year. Other times we've had a big event at a restaurant. All of our ministry departments also have parties for their different teams as well. I hosted our college life group leaders party this year. There's just different creative ways you can do that. Obviously at a party of end of year thing, you want to share testimonies in order to celebrate what God has done. You want to play some games or just have fun together, and then you want to eat, right? So those are some great things you can do. We always try to end with worship and a brief time of prayer and just thanking people for the way that they're laying down their lives for the kingdom. So we want to celebrate with a party. Another thing really that you want to do with each staff member that reports to you is celebrate them. We want to thank the people that are working on our teams. You know, people don't do this for the money, right? They do this because they have passion for Jesus and his purposes on the earth. And so we want to celebrate people for the sacrifice they are making. I try to provide positive written feedback to each team member on my team at the end of the year, thanking them and letting them know, hey, here's some wins that you had this year. We do that in an end of year evaluation meeting, which that brings me to my next point, evaluation. But one more thing, I would really encourage you as well to celebrate as a church. You know, whether it's on Sunday, December 20th or the 27th, or maybe even on the January 3rd, the beginning of 2016. These would be a great time just to remind your church of all the amazing things that have happened this year. We have done an end-of-year recap video in the past of just our different events to celebrate what God has done. But however you do it, whether it's sharing testimonies, you really just want to celebrate what God has done. People don't get enough time to reflect on the goodness of the Lord, and it's our job as pastors and leaders to help them do that. Next thing, evaluate. So at the end of the year, I have a end-of-year evaluation meeting with all of my direct reports, and they are anticipating that they are going to get written feedback that's encouraging and also written feedback that's constructive. And so the way that meeting works is for all of our different ministry departments, we have an online form that they complete prior to their meeting. That form has some different questions that will prepare them to reflect upon their year, prepare them to look at their goals for the year, and also how they're doing personally. And it just helps us evaluate, how do we do this year? Did we meet our goals? Did we achieve them? Did we excel in different areas? Are there different areas that we attempted to excel in but we did not? Or are there some things we just kind of dropped the ball on and forgot? So we evaluate those things and provide very constructive, specific written feedback, but it's all in that environment of encouragement and love and pastoring that we do that. And so I'd encourage you not only to evaluate your specific team members, but this year we're even evaluating our section leaders and our life group leaders. We're giving them a form. Say, how are you doing personally? You know, how are you doing financially? How are you doing with your schedule? How's your family doing? How can we do a better job serving you? What do you need equipping on? It's a great time of year to get feedback from some of the main stakeholders in your church. So we want to evaluate. Obviously, as we prepare for the next season, it's important to evaluate, God, what are you blessing? How are you working at this time? And how can we get more on board with that. Finally, you want to evaluate your church events. Events are expensive and they also require a lot of manpower. And so we always want to be in a process of evaluating the different events we're doing as a church to make sure we're putting our time and our energy and our resources in the right strategy. And that's something we've been in a season in of All People's Church. That's been very fruitful. So we're going to celebrate, we're going to evaluate, finally, we're going to anticipate. What can happen is we run so hard during the fall, and because of our maybe typical family schedules during Christmas, we can really start to pull back, and it's appropriate to stop and rest and give people time off and have time to seek the Lord. But we also want to make sure we're anticipating the year to come. There's no time like January to really grab a hold of the year and give people vision for the spiritual goals that Jesus might have for them for the next year. And so we want to be praying into 2016 over this holiday season. So there's a few things we do as All People's Church. First of all, we encourage all of our staff members to take a personal retreat. We complete Jimmy's personal compass that he's taught us to use throughout the year, filling out the different roles and goals that God may have for us in an upcoming season. So we'll do that as a staff. We'll get together. We'll talk about our goals for the year. And our budget is made according to those goals. And so that's how we go through that process, anticipating the next year. And oftentimes there's transitions, new people coming onto the team, people going into new roles based on what God is saying. But we're setting aside dedicated time to seek the Lord for the year to come. So we end up in early January, not in a reactive, but a proactive position for all that God might want to be doing. And we're also administratively communicating to people what's coming up in the next season. So celebrate, evaluate, anticipate. Those are a few things you can do this holiday season to ignite your staff and your team and prepare them for what's ahead. Bless you guys. Hope you have a wonderful Christmas, and much love to you all.